Oh, says we're live. All right. Let's get it going here. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. Hey everyone, we're doing some experimenting tonight, as you can tell. If you can hear me, that is. I don't know if you can. All right, as everyone's coming into the chat, let me check some settings here. Says we got some stream going. We've got chat in a new window. Can't read the chat. Where's the chat? Hey, Amsterdam. Hey, Rrfried. Obviously, I wanted to do a Rrfried Friday today, but life is crazy right now. Crazy busy. Crazy stuff going on, so I'm not going to start the Rrfried Friday stuff until we get people in, until we get some opinions on what on what's going on. Yeah, it is late. It's late for me, too. It's almost 11 o'clock for me. Work started at 7 in the morning. So it's been a long day for me too. But I didn't want to miss out on another Rrfried Friday. I missed it last week, but you got the Google Pixel unboxing, and I thought that was a funny video. I got a lot of crap for that, and obviously, yeah, I wanna address a lot of that comments in that. So I got the live chat on my laptop, and the reason I'm sitting down for this live stream is I'm tired. I had an 8-hour shift at work, and it was all in the sun, all expanding dishes around over 300 individual, very young baby mandarin trees. And I'm feeling dead inside. So here's the thing. I don't feel like editing tonight, which is what I usually do. Usually I would work, the 7-hour shift. And I know it's not Saturday probably for most of the world. But you know what? It's gonna be late, but I'm gonna do it. It's probably Saturday today for most of you, but this is what you're gonna get. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to be here, but I got my water. I'm tired, so you're gonna get a different version of me that's all loopy. Please go to bed. No, Ben, you can't tell me what to do. It's Saturday in Tennessee. It's 8 o'clock here in Sweden. Good morning. Yeah, I'm hoping since this live stream is much later than usual, like ever. Maybe I can reach a new audience that's usually asleep when I'm live or at work or whatever. So we'll get into that. But I want to mainly focus on a bunch of comments I've gotten this because this is supposed to be replacing Rrfried Friday. Even though it is a live stream, so I'm sure I'm going to be addressing the chat as well. 3 p.m. there in Singapore, 2:54 in Australia. I get it. It's a weird time. But I'm definitely seeing a lot of people in the chat that I'm not used to seeing. So hopefully you live people are going to be seeing, finally get to watch a Tailosive Tech live. You can tell I'm tired, can't you? Mm-hmm. Hey, look, AirPods are on the table. Woo! And I'm sitting down, yes, because I don't feel like standing. And like immediately after this, I'm going to bed. So, all right, let's see what I can do for you guys. And the other reason I'm testing this out is because, yeah, you should be doing homework, William. The YouTube mobile app. I kept getting emails that said, YouTube, now you can live stream from the mobile app on your phone. And I was like, really? Because I kept trying to do that and I couldn't find a way to. So like when you go to the create button in the YouTube app, it's just like record. And I'm like, I couldn't find it anywhere. So I finally read the fine print. I went to that email that YouTube sent to everyone. And down in the email it says, we understand that everyone wants to live stream on the go. So if you have over 10,000 subscribers, that YouTube mobile live stream feature unlocks. So that's, you have to have over 10,000 subs. Usually we do, but it's frustrating because we like to live stream on lots of other channels as well, like the Talks channel. Primarily, we do lots of live streams on there, but of course we don't even have 1,000 there. We don't even have 400 there. But that channel's still getting going. But it's picking up some steam. But of course this one can do it. But that's obviously helpful, and we don't know how the quality's going to do, how the live stream's going to handle, but we'll do our best. See how it's going to handle. The Pixel review is Rowan and Zach's in the works. That's mostly what's going to happen tomorrow. I do have work, but I don't expect it to be another 8-hour day in the sun. It sounds like mostly spray painting, outlines for a new fence going in. But Pixel review is going to be long. You're going to get more than one video out of the Pixel. We're going to get Pixel Rant. It's not a review. It's a Pixel Rant video, and it's going to go in step by step what's wrong with it. and then after that, it'll probably be a shorter video. It'll be iPhone 7 Plus versus Pixel XL, and I'm just going to compare the crap out of them, which will also be kind of a rant because it's going to be showing what another flagship for the same price can offer and how much the Pixel misses out on all those features. And then on top of that, probably when the Pixel's already gone, I want to make a how to fix the Pixel because lots of people have already been reading reports that we're already hard at work at the Pixel 2, which is good because they need to get. I realize I don't have it on the table, but that's okay because I don't want cancer on the table. The Pixel 2 definitely has a lot of room for improvement. So if they do make a fairly decent competing phone, then we have something to compare to, the S8 and the iPhone 8. But as of right now, it's years behind. The Pixel XL would have made a great phone, 3 years ago. Yeah, cancer. That's right. Please tell us where you got that cup. This cup is from Apple's campus in Cupertino. You can only buy them there. I didn't go there, but a friend of mine went there and knew I would like it, and I do. I love this mug. Anyway, let's see what else we're gonna be getting. We got some fairly recent comments here. Okay, the Rrfried Friday has begun. Actually, let me open up the live stream in a different window because I want to be able to see how many people are watching, and the YouTube live stream thing is so weird. I don't understand it. I can't see the chat right now. I'm trying to... Why does YouTube do it this way? They have a main part for your live stream stuff, but then they put it in a different area for the creator, but not for the user. It's like, I feel like if I'm running the live stream, it should be pretty easy to know how many people are watching, but no, it's not that simple. So I have to log into a different account in order to find the live stream, which... Yeah, it just says Rrfried Friday Live. Okay, that's fine. There I am. Great. Okay, now I can see how many people are watching, but I also want to manage the chat if I feel like it. There we go. I love you too, Zach. Do you have 4 lines to get unlimited data with Verizon, and are the AirPods lit? Yes, everyone in my family has unlimited data now. There are 4 of us, correct. And the AirPods are lit. Best pair of headphones I've ever owned. They're amazing. Okay, so like 9 minutes ago on the iPhone 8, looks a lot like the Galaxy S8 video, which again proved my point that if you put iPhone 8 in the title, you get a lot of views very quickly because the hype for it is way too high. It says, how can you prefer the unpure Samsung skin over stock Android? It's literally what it says. Oh. Do I need to prove it to you? Like, a guy named, who is this cute? Like, why do I prefer the Samsung skin? Well, it's because, to me, it's very obvious that Samsung wants to copy everything Apple does, but at this point, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. All they're doing, not necessarily is trying to copy them, which, keep in mind, copying Apple is okay. Copying any company is okay if you can do it better. And in many ways, Samsung's operating system does a lot better than stock Android, as in you could do split view multitasking long before Nougat could, which I don't think is helpful, but it had that option for people way earlier than everyone else had it, and a lot of Samsung skin, like the clear all apps function, did and allowed for more things, as well as like unify the OS by making all the apps the same size, and they tried to load up the operating system with like, easy mode and lots of apps on there, which of course a lot of us didn't use, but they at least tried to get the ball rolling, where like, the setup process for the Note 7 was the quickest one I'd seen on any phone. When I got that, you went from boot up to phone ready to use within like under a minute. Whereas with the Pixel and even the iPhone, it takes a good, 4 to 5 minutes to log in, set up the dictation, artificial AI systems, and log into everything. But yeah, I kind of like what Samsung has done. They're putting skins just about on every operating system they can. So Windows 10, they kind of modify. Chrome OS, they kind of modify. Then they put Samsung Flow on everything because while they're using different operating systems, they want it all to work together very well, which is still... Yeah, it's still you're right. The Palm Kit is still nothing better than iOS. Absolutely not. But they're trying, and I think they're doing a lot better a job than just stock Android is. I think that's a very lacking operating system that is really obsessed with you being able to change every little thing. But is that functional? It's more just about stylizing your OS, and I don't find that as interesting. Why does iCloud Drive have a file system on iOS? Well, Dark Spacer, it's because um, iCloud Drive is cross-platform. It works on desktops, it works on mobile. So if you drag something into iCloud Drive on Finder, obviously there's not a great way to find it on your iPad unless there is a file explorer, because a major part of iCloud Drive does have a point and click navigation system, whereas iOS isn't a point and click; it's a tap, which is why you don't see file exploring on here, because that's not the best way to navigate through a touch screen's files. Anyway, back to these comments. Now the other thing is I have to make sure I can read these because a lot of them are not good. Andre Royal on the same video, iPhone 8 looks a lot like the Galaxy S8. You're assuming the iPhone 8 does not exist yet. Of course. Of course it doesn't exist yet. The difference is everyone's talking about it. Everyone's come up with so many theories about it. The fact that Andre, you commented on the video, so you obviously knew you were getting into something. Technically, the Galaxy S8 doesn't even exist yet if you don't count it until it's verified. All we know is, what patents are going through, what rumors are coming out. Yes, but you have a point, Andre. We don't know everything about the iPhone 8 until it is officially out. So yes, all this is speculation, but that's what us tech channels do. We speculate, we theorize. This might happen. This report's claiming this. This report's saying this. It's all speculation. It's okay. Anyway. Riglin, I don't know how to pronounce it, on the same video, not same video, it says iPhone 8 won't be so great. That video, that got a lot of views because I said that the new iPhone 8 is not going to be as good as we all think it is. It says, I guarantee they won't do anything with the camera either. Maybe they will add a better lens cover or something like that. On the iPhone 8 camera, a megapixel bump, that's fine. I don't expect it because I think the camera is great. You should follow me on Twitter to see a photo I took at work today because my boss wasn't there at the time and I was waiting for him to get back. So I just opened portrait mode because that always impresses me, and I pointed it towards me to take a selfie, and it just DSLR quality. It's amazing what kind of photography you can get out of this iPhone 7 that I'm live streaming with right now. And what I would really like to see is just, what the LG G6 did, which is a match in quality with the second lens, because the telephoto is great, but, and I do believe it's even the same megapixels, but it's not as good as low light. It doesn't have optical image stabilization, and it's just overall not as good a camera as the wide angle. So you lose a bit of quality when you zoom in, and several times when you're using the dual camera. If it's a low light scenario, it will just crop in the wide angle because the low light mode will be so bad that you won't be able to make out the picture, which I don't understand. I wish they would just gray out the 2x button if the lighting is too bad. Like, don't just tell me to crop in. I don't want to do that. But it would be nice to see, of course, the camera bulge. Go away, please. But at the same time, yeah, I would love to see the quality and the optical image stabilization so that when we're telephotoing, there's not a loss in quality. That's what I would like to see. But yeah, there's likely not going to be that massive of a redesign with the camera. It seems like most of the focus on the iPhone 8 is going to be display. But of course, we'll get some HDR stuff. And the front-facing camera is rumored to be a lot different than before. Let's see what else we got. Sam Cantos asks, why do you hate the Pixel? If I could sum it up, because I don't want to say, wait for tomorrow when the video's ready, because obviously you're going to hear a lot about why I hate it. But the main reason I think I hate it isn't the chin, and it's not the blue color. A lot of people thought I was being hard on the blue color. Look, I get it. My tech channel's blue, so that's hypocritical, but my point was, I didn't get the back of the phone design that like a third of it is glass for no reason and the rest of it's aluminum. So I was just playing off the joke that I thought the design was stupid, so I made myself vomit on the table when I unboxed it, just because I thought that'd be funny. It's not it's not that bad. The blue aluminum I really like, actually. It's just that glass part that's like as blue as a crayon. That I don't really care for. Anyway, I didn't choose the blue color. I bought that one because I thought it looked the ugliest, but I didn't make Google produce a blue one. They didn't have to do that. I didn't make Google make a third of the phone glass. That was all on them. That wasn't on me at all. Let's go over the live chat here for a second. The only reason I would consider the Pixels because you already lost credibility. Would consider the Pixels because of the stock Android with 3 guaranteed years of fast updates. And yes, the 6P/5X would be a better value. Wouldn't get Android P. Okay. Well, here. The problem with the Pixel is you're lacking a lot of things the Nexus 6P had in favor of a bigger price. I forgot I didn't tell you the main reason. The main reason I hate the Pixel is because you're getting a budget phone at full price, and it doesn't really make sense as to why it is. If you look up the manufacturing costs for the Pixel, they're significantly lower than the iPhone 7 or any Samsung Galaxy, which, you know, of course, they're going to make it a lot more expensive than it takes to make because there was R&D and there was research that went into it, and a company has, you know, engineers, and the manufacturing takes money on all that. But the difference is the Pixel was significantly lower than its competition in manufacturing costs, and yet they charged just as much. The question I have about that is Google makes about 98% of its money through ad revenue. It's not from selling products. You know, that's why they give away all their services. All that's free. They don't care. They got all this money. They're just burning it. So when they finally develop a hardware company and they're trying to compete with competition that only relies on hardware, Apple has to sell iPhones in order to survive. They're not a services company. Google is a services company, an ad revenue company. Samsung has to sell hardware to survive. It doesn't even make software. And they're competing with that, but charging the same amount. If the Pixel cost $500, this would be a totally different story. I would totally be okay. Not totally okay. There's still a lot of design flaws with it that I don't get, but I wouldn't hate it as much if it was as much as the 6P was. The 6P was a great phone because it had flagship features, but it wasn't flagship price, which is great. So the Pixel does not have the best software. I'm sorry. People keep saying that. It's just wrong. It's hard to point exactly at what is wrong with it, but I'll dive into it later. I got a long laundry list here of things. Other words, I'll sum up one for you. Android has a really great way of managing notifications, as in the clear all feature, and you can swipe back and forth, which is great because they give you 10 billion notifications a minute. Way more than iOS ever gives you, and I don't understand it. So, like, when you're listening to music, you don't have, like, music controls in a widget. You get a notification, and then when you start listening to YouTube Red, that also becomes a separate widget. So you can have pause, play, and fast forward on both music and YouTube Red at the same time. And whenever you turn your phone off and you're listening to a YouTube Red in the background, a notification has to pop up. I've tried to get rid of it several times. That says, background play is now on. You can turn this off in the settings. It's like, no, I want background play on. So I go to the settings, I hit on, keep it on. But every time you're watching a video and you just want to hear it, so you turn the display off, background play is now on. Every single time you open the phone, you close it again, it's back. You have to dismiss, and they just stack up and up and up and up, and then every hour it's like, here's the weather, and it's like, Google, you know I'm driving right now, right? I'm in Google Maps. Don't you understand I'm outside? If I'm outside, I don't need to know what the weather is. Or if it tries to show off, like you get to a place and it goes, hey, you parked your car right here. It would take you this long to drive home. It's like, Google, I come here 3 times a week. I know how long it takes me to drive home. Shut up about how smart you are. We get it. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Does the AirPods work on the iPhone 6? Yes, they do. Can you just like put the AirPods case in your hand so I can see how small it is? They're a lot smaller than you'd think. Obviously, these are about the same size as regular AirPods. Yeah, I'll put them in my hand for you. That's not that hard to do. But the one complaint I do have about AirPods, there's a couple. They're definitely not a perfect product, and they didn't they failed in a lot of ways for me. But they're still the best I've ever had. Is the color, and I know a lot of people debate about that, but AirPods definitely I'm against them going with the all white design because especially with the case you are asking for tons of dirt and scuffs to just show up because these are things we stick in our ears. Our ears are not perfectly clean places. There's a lot of wax. There's a lot of dirt that gets picked up throughout the day because you're carrying the case around in your pocket, and your pockets are not super clean places. Um, so I'm it makes sense that there's so many companies interested in painting them. I saw MKBHD just uploaded a video about coloring them, but yeah, I wish Apple would acknowledge that and say, hey, let's make them black or red or just make them all match the iPhone lineup. Let's get a matte black, a jet black, rose gold, gold, silver, just so we have some diversity so that we don't not all this shows up on there. And I do agree, like matte black AirPods will look much better in the ear than these ones will, which I hope I'm not destroying my phone by opening the AirPod case. I realize that might be happening. Whoops. But yeah. Anyway, what else do we got? What else do we got in the Rrfried Friday section? Let's see. Todd Berry on the iPhone 8 looks like the Galaxy S8 video says, I'm okay with the bezels. I don't care about that. Maybe I'm the only one. I'm excited about OLED though because that way a night/dark mode is more plausible. Yeah, Todd, a lot of people have been saying that actually. It's been a surprising amount of people really, really pumped about lack of bezels. Wow, look how thin they are. It's like the display isn't there. I've had that before with the Note 7. It's fine. It's cool. I think that makes the phone look cool, but functionally wise, I really don't see it change many things. I didn't find the swipe on the curved edge of the phone like to make more options available. That doesn't. I didn't find that very useful. Like quick glances, I just couldn't get into a natural flow of it. Is because maybe because I don't use. I think a lot of people don't realize this. You don't use a ton of apps that you need to be swiping through your notification. I mean, not notification. You have to be swiping through your home screen all the time. That you need like those quick cuts because Android has so many different ways to navigate through your apps. Most people are using maximum level 5 apps at a time, like switching between. And you got that multitasking button down there on Android, and even on iOS you can just double tap. But having those little quick slides to the side that you can tap to, I didn't find that very useful. But again, the iPhone 8, I don't think it's going to have anything like that. I think the removal of bezels as much as possible isn't going to make that much of a difference. It's mostly just for aesthetics. But the OLED thing for the dark mode I would really love to see because I think as Apple runs out of things for iOS to keep adding upon, it's going to eventually go down to themes. It's going to be about who can create more customization, but as long as it's in-house so you don't lose that optimization. I think that's the fine line Apple's walking. They want to make sure that you can alter the look of your phone so that things are really cool, but at the same time you don't lose that optimization feeling because Android really loses that since they open the door to all third parties. Anyone can make hardware, anyone can make apps. We don't have to verify them. Everything goes up. You get a lot of apps that don't feel connected, even mainstream ones. Like things don't feel like they're thought out as well. Things don't feel, I don't know, fit to the phone itself. Even like big ones, yeah. Anyway. Let's see what people are saying over here. Rahul says, do you like the idea that there will be 3 iPhone models this year? Do you miss the old days when it was just one iPhone? Is iPhone getting too fragmented? I don't really miss that. I definitely think it's smart of Apple to say that they need to they need to release as many iPhones as possible because this is how mainly I think 60% of Apple's revenue comes from is iPhone sales. It's the most best-selling product they've ever had, which for Apple that's best-selling product of all time, period. And no, I don't think it's a bad idea at all because we want to provide as many options for the next generation of iPhone users as we can. What Apple's slowly realizing with the iPhone 7 Plus being the first Plus iPhone to sell better than the regular sized one is that they can push the limit on the price because people are realizing how much they love um, their smartphones and how much they use them on a day-to-day basis. So we're really okay with paying more as long as it can do more. And with the iPhone 8 definitely going to be costing over $1,000 now, I don't think it's going to be a less purchased iPhone. I think people are going to be just as excited and want to buy that just as much. And there's going to be quite a lot of demand for it. If anything, I think it'll be like a 40% of iPhone sales, I bet. I'm guessing around 40 that are going to be like, yep, I'm going all out on the 8. I want that 256 gigs of storage. I want that OLED. I want that dark mode and all that. But yeah, it's okay. We want phones that are also cheap so that everyday people can also buy them. So it's not just for the super rich. I'm definitely okay with 3 iPhones a year. Maybe more. I thought we were going to get 3 last year. I thought we were going to get, for the longest time, I thought we were going to get iPhone 7, 7 Plus, and 7 Pro. And a lot of rumors really pointed to that, and I think that was a plan for Apple, and they kind of switched things at the last minute. But, yeah. Is this Tailosive tech or Apple tech? Lol, there's more to talk about, man. I didn't sub to only hear Apple. You're a tech channel. Okay, Fredo, listen. If you want to try to be a tech channel and not talk about the iPhone that much, your views aren't going to do very well. I'd like to share some data with you. I'm going to move away from the published comments a little bit. Let me find some videos that I didn't talk about the iPhone. Okay, the LG G6 impressions, right? That's not Apple. 3,500 views. Okay, that's pretty decent. Samsung's new Galaxy tablets. That's not iPhone. 3,700 views. Great. Okay, right after that, I did iPhone 8 probably will use Lightning. 10,000 views. Okay, almost 3 times as much. Oppo's optical telephoto lens camera. This is an Apple. 2,500 views. Okay. Yesterday, not even 24 hours ago, I posted iPhone 8 looks a lot like Galaxy S8. We're already at nearly 8,000 views. And the Oppo's optical one has been around for 3 days. Listen, tech reviewers are making videos that are in demand. You know, we study these things. We look at the list and we say, what are people interested in? And what we've found so far, at least in my eyes, and why you're seeing other YouTubers talk so much about the iPhone 8, is that if you put the word iPhone 8 in the title, everyone is going to click on it because it's one of the most hyped products, I think, of all time. Everyone is so psyched for it, which I think is stupid because it's so far away, and I think it's going to let down, and I think people are really excited for the fact that it looks different. There's not a lot of functional features rumored. All we're getting is just kind of like, this will look cool, whoa! So the reason we're focusing so much on the iPhone 8 daily vids is because for this channel to survive and for me to ever do this as a full-time job, I'm not. We need to talk about what people are interested in. And right now, the majority of people, while it may not be everyone, and I'm definitely not super pumped like everyone is, and I'm going to wait for the 8, everyone's talking about it, so we're going to cover it. You know, we can't just keep talking about the LG G6 because not a lot of people are going to watch that. They just don't care. You got to you got to understand the people kind of decide what the media is going to talk about based upon what we're interested in. If you guys keep watching it, you keep feeding into that, we're going to keep making it because we know it sells. Anyway, someone was saying earlier, Taco Boy had a good question. All right, let's give them what they want. Nintendo Switch, your thoughts on it, and will you get it? I'm really sad to say this. You're going to hate me. You may unsubscribe for what I'm about to say. And that's fine. I don't blame you. I don't have much time for video games. At all, period. There's not a lot of games on my phone, on my Apple TV. I've had consoles in the past. I get everyone loves them and they're fun, but here's the thing. They're the most time-consuming media. Over TV shows and movies, video games take the most out of my time, which for me to do this as a career, for me to make YouTube videos, I don't have a lot of spare time, period. I'm not even watching movies very much anymore. About once or twice a week I have the time to sit down and watch a movie that's like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Most of the time I'm working, coming home, eating dinner, then I go straight to this. I work on tech. I work where I try to spend time with the family so I don't lose my mind, or I'm chatting online with my girlfriend because she's not here right now. She's moving back later, but we're going long distance for a little while. So I don't have that kind of time to kill. In terms of the Nintendo Switch, keep in mind I did make a video about it, so you can scroll back a little bit. But I basically have kept all my opinions about it, that people are really, really psyched for it, and I don't think it's going to hold up very well. I think it's going to age very quickly, as in people think they want this, but once they get it, they're going to realize that the 21st century, especially in terms of tech, we really don't have a lot of room for single-purpose devices anymore, especially portable game consoles. They've tried them in the past. They've tried to get us excited about them, but I think ultimately, no matter how excited we get in a year, we're not going to be using them as much. That's just my prediction. Of course, lots of people may disagree. I get that, and just about every tech reviewer right now seems to think that it's the best thing on earth. I just don't see it. I think it's gonna lose its steam after a while, and I haven't met one person who agrees with me, and that's fine. That's what I'm used to. If you review Nintendo Switch on Tailosive Gaming, you don't have to work anymore. Yeah? No, I'd still have to work. I'm very tired, but yeah, I would definitely still have to work. I think Nintendo has a very hardcore fan base. A lot of people say Nintendo is the Apple of the gaming industry. That's probably fair to say, because they're kind of in their own field, and lots of people make fun of them for their lower specs and their weird gimmicks. But no, I don't. I think the Switch was mainly for great demo, which is something a lot of people are good at, especially VR. VR is good at showing someone something for the first time, and the first time you do it, you think it's really cool, and you say, wow, this is revolutionary, I definitely want one. But they don't put in the time to test it long term and figure out, is this something we're going to use on a day-to-day basis, or is it just really cool the first time because it's never existed before? It's original, which is great, and it's new, and that's what I think we're all into right now, is the demo of it. It's really cool when you first get it, but I don't think it's going to last long term. That's just me. Rich Sweeney. iPod Touch was the most popular portable games console for the longest time. Yeah, and I think the iPhone's replacing everything. Not just the iPhone, the smartphone. Anyway, this is Rrfried Friday. I'm supposed to look at some of these comments. No, I don't plan on getting the Nintendo Switch. If there's enough demand for it, sure, but I don't have a lot of time, guys. I'm not gonna. It's really hard for me to review a product where I have to put in hours on games and stuff. And I think that's gonna be another problem with the Switch, is the third party making games for it is gonna slow it down a bit. Anyway. We went there. We read these comments. So is it? Why are people still watching the Apple car is real, so be happy video? I've made videos since then that say the Apple car definitely isn't happening. Anyway. On my iPhone 8 will beat the Galaxy S8 video, which of course got a ton of views because it's it's a trigger. As soon as someone sees it, they trigger. GT Long 1991 says, it's possible, but you can't forget about the note line too. Just saying. And I actually replied to him. I said, yeah, we cannot forget about the Galaxy Note line because of how explosive it's been in the past. No, it's fine. Note 7 was great. I hope everyone understands that. If you watch my review of the Note 7, you understand I love that phone, and it's a shame it went through the problems it did, because to this day, if I could not have an iPhone, I would have the Note 7, not the Pixel. The Pixel is not the iPhone of Android. Everyone keeps saying that. It's not true. It's the joke of Android. There is no iPhone equivalent to the Pixel. But the Note line definitely has a huge reputation to make up for, because Samsung did confirm they're working on the Note 8, so they're not canceling that line, but I think how Samsung has handled that whole situation is very, very wisely, as in they're looking at like an 8-step process to make sure the batteries are okay, and ensuring safety on every level, and they're doing all these press releases about how secure they're making their manufacturing process. I think all that's great. I think that's the best way to replace that, and they promised a lot of people who returned the Note 7 that they would get 50% off the Galaxy S8 and the Galaxy Note 8, and that's very wise of them. They value their customers, and they're not going to try to rip them off because they made a mistake. So I think that was very wise of them. It's a very noble company. I like Samsung, by the way. I really do. Okay, High Desert Garden. On the iPhone 8 looks a lot like the Galaxy S8 video. He says, I've been watching your videos for a while. You may want to get a green screen or better background so that it doesn't look like you're filming in your attic. Thanks for sharing. Ouch. Okay. High Desert Garden. I got some news for you. I am streaming in my attic. And I am filming in my attic. I live in an attic. There's no insulation on these walls. It gets freezing in the winter and it gets boiling hot in the summer. I like it in here because our house is built a little weird and you have to walk through other people's bedrooms to get here. And my sister, while she doesn't live here anymore, her room is there. I didn't want that one. And my old room didn't have a door. So basically everyone who wanted to watch movies had to go through my room. I wanted a door so that I could film whenever I'd like to, like in the middle of the night. If I was still in that room, I couldn't do that because everyone's asleep. And my older sister had this room before I did. That's why all the walls are green. I did not pick this color. And I get a lot of these comments a lot that's like, change the background. It doesn't look professional. You got to change it. You guys, this is as good as it gets. Believe me, I got to be honest, it's kind of insulting a little bit when people try to tell you don't know what you're doing. Like, your qualities don't look that high. You don't have that much production quality in your videos. You should up that. But it's like, you realize, guys, that, okay, you know what? For fun, you can go through my videos to understand how much money I get off of them. 1,000 views is about $1. $1. It's roughly, because, what money you make on YouTube is definitely not based on views. It's based on watch time. But roughly, there's a rough rule that basically any 1,000 views typically equals out $1. And that's being generous. It's usually less than that. So go back on my videos. If you look on the dashboard, okay, iPhone 8 looks a lot like the Galaxy S8. That has almost 8,000 views. What did I make on that? $7. How much time did it take to make? About 3 hours. So it's below minimum wage. Most of my money is still, and it's about half and half right now. Because I'm getting about, no, it's not really. Because I'm working really hard at the ranch right now. So at the ranch, the Mandarin Ranch where I work is usually where I get most of my money. And that work is really picking up right now. I'm having 7 and 8 hour days all outside with very little time to relax, and I'm digging, dishes around the things. That's why I'm dead, and that's why I'm live streaming that. Live streaming this right now is because I don't have time or energy to edit a Rrfried Friday tonight. So I'm just going to take the hour just to talk to you live because that's easier. And yeah, it's not easy for us YouTubers. So it's not like I can just buy a better camera or get a set or even paint the walls just to make things look more higher budget. But it's very generous. I think the more optimistic way to look at it is to say, someone said Patreon? Yeah, please go to Patreon. It helps. I have to pay rent too, It's like money goes to that every month. What was I saying? I was talking about something. Oh, that people are watching my videos and judging them like I'm a 1 million subscriber channel. As in, I have a budget and I have money that I can spend on upgrades and stuff. I kind of consider that flattering because you're watching me and putting me alongside other people in your subscriptions that have millions. Everything Apple Pro, MKBHD, Austin Evans. You're putting me next to all them and treating me like, hey, the problem between you and this guy is you don't have that quality. And it's like, well, guys, remember, I don't even have 13,000 subs. They have millions. They're making full-time salaries on that, and they don't usually upload as much as I do, and they're definitely not working outside in the sun for 8 hours in California in the summer. It gets hot. you get home, you feel like you want to die, and then you stay up till 2 in the morning working on videos. So it's very, very tough. So when people tell me you need to buy an external mic, I use an external mic, or you need to change a background so it's not as interesting. Listen, for right now, all I can really give you is my tech commentary. And I hope that's what you're interested in. I'm making these videos in hope that you enjoy what I think about technology, not what's behind me. It could be a black screen behind me. That shouldn't matter. This is just like semi-related to the topic. That's why it's there. I've tried different setups in my room. I've tried using different angles, different corners. Nothing else works. You know, that's not an exaggeration. I literally have set up the camera in different places, put different things in the background. This is the best it's going to be for a while, until I move out and come up with something different. His editing and content is great. Thank you, Ridgeview. I appreciate that. But you have the Pixel. Well, listen. That's where a lot of the money goes, right? Because obviously I'm making... I don't go to college. I dropped out of that because that takes so much money. And I'm making, you know, I won't say exactly how much, but a pretty good income a month. But a lot of that goes to expenses. That goes to gas. That goes to the money for the editing software. But most of it is being saved for a future with my girlfriend, as well as tech that I can review for you guys. Which, as you don't know, as you do know, I should correct myself, these things are expensive. They are very expensive, especially the Pixel. I'm not keeping it. I don't want it. I thought I would just to have as an Android phone, but man, bad idea. So I'm definitely sending it back. I need something that doesn't make me want to kill myself. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is where all the money goes, Roger. I pour it back into my business that I can review, so you guys can get opinions about it. Please try to understand that. Will you miss the taptic home button? Do you think? Oh, geez, we should get rid of it. Says the full news. No, I don't think we should get rid of it, and I don't think that's the plan. The iPhone 8, I think, will keep that home button taptic engine. It's just going to be on screen. So instead of a little ridge on our iPhone 7s, when we press that on-screen button, it'll still feel like a click, which I'm very interested in trying. And I was thinking about this earlier. Since we don't have a confirmed leak on what the new iPad will look like, I'm wishing here, but it'd be really great if we just eliminated the chin of the 10.5-inch iPad altogether, and we just had a thin bezel at the top for the camera, and then the bottom was like the first chance we ever get to see an on-screen home button. And they figured out how to put a tapping engine in the iPads, and then we get 3D touch. That won't happen, but that would be great. Like, I would love to imagine how much press, attention Apple would get if they made the iPad that bezel-less with that thin and they got an on-screen home button. That would just knock them out of the park, just on design alone. And it would go alongside the iPhone 8 very well. I would love that. Anyway. Yeah, it's my editing machine. It's my investment. I use this a lot. This is what I make my videos with. And, I don't have a nice car. I mean, I do. I shouldn't say that. I got a good deal on my car, but I don't spend much on much else. A camera's expensive, mics are expensive. There's very little toys I have in my life. There's very little things I buy for pleasure. That's why you don't see me gaming, because that's not a tool. Is the Pixel that bad? Yes, it is, Dillip. iPhone SE Series 2 this year? No, I don't think the iPhone SE is getting a full refresh. It might get a processor bump. That would be neat. But as of now, the rumors are just storage increase, which is fine. A lot of people like the SE, but yeah, there's a lot of people say they want a complete refresh, but I don't see it's happening. I think we would know about it by now if that was happening. You really wish the Apple logo would glow? I don't. I like that it matches everything else, because this is what happens on the the iPhone. It's just a mirror, and the iPad, it's just, everything goes along with each other. It would be cool if this Apple logo glue. That'd be great. There's very little pleasure in life. I don't have much of a social life. It's not like I don't go out to parties. I don't drink. I definitely don't go to college. I actually work with middle-aged people all day. There's no one my age at the place I work. Middle-aged and higher, 50, 60-year-olds all day. Then I come home and talk to you people. Just a bunch of nerds. We're all nerds. I do love the space gray color MacBook Pro. Rrfried? Yeah, me too. I'm glad they went with that. I know everyone wants a matte black, but I personally wouldn't like matte black with the keys because those are black. So everything would kind of be black, and that wouldn't like contrast as well. What would be interesting is like a matte black unibody MacBook Pro with the white keys, which I guess would attract a lot of dirt. But it would match the Magic Keyboard, and then the what do you call it? The letters would be darker. They'd be gray. And then when it's backlit, the backlit just goes around the key. It doesn't go on the letter itself. But I guess that would make the touch bar not go with it as well. Anyway. Nippon Sharma says, I'm seeing the back of my iPhone 7 Plus paint fading, where I rest my finger just below the Apple logo. It's because of sweat probably, but I'm disappointed with the paint quality. Have you noticed? Not at all. I did read some reports that the matte black was like chipping for some people, which I haven't experienced. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I think it points to my theory about the iPhone 7 Pro, which I feel like at the last minute in an efforts for Apple to make the iPhone 7 look as different as possible as the 6S, because I think it had more features than most upgrades do. But the problem was when they finished the iPhone 7, the head of marketing was like, these things look a lot like the 6S, and people want it to look different. So about, 2 months, because we didn't get leaks of jet black until about 2 months to 1 month before the release of the 7, they found these SIM cards being made that were extra reflective and shiny, and they were like, the iPhone 7 might have this piano black color. And that didn't come out till much later. So I think what happened was about 3 months before the release, they were like, these look too similar. We need one to look drastically different. And that's when they came up with the idea for jet black. So they took large portions of iPhones they already had made and started polishing them so that it would give that jet black look. And that's why when you see every iPhone 7 advertisement, every commercial, and all the keynotes, they always demoed jet black because of that reflective back. It made it almost look glass and shiny, and it looked very different than the 6S. And that's why they advertised with it. It looked drastically different, so that when people see the 7, they're like, oh, that's the 7. But at the same time, that's why the jet black was in such limited supply. They didn't have much time to make it. It takes a long time to make. They have to polish it for a real long time. And I think they didn't want to go the space gray route for some reason, but they wanted people to be... They didn't want just jet black because they knew most people buy the black versions of the iPhone. So they're like, okay, well, let's make matte black. It's not shiny, but it's still really dark black, which is cool and it's different. So that's when they started painting them, and they were probably rushed. I think they were rushed. There was a lot of last-second changes with the 7 and 7 Plus. But yeah, I got. I've been hearing about the red iPhone 7. I'm excited to see it. I'm not interested in buying that. I went through my red phase. For the longest time, I wanted all my tech to be space gray and red, or black and red, period. But what I realized is that kept getting harder and harder to accomplish because of charge cables and AirPods, and now they don't have a space gray iPhone. You can have matte black or jet black, but you can't have matte black or jet black on any other product, except the Apple TV. That's kind of jet black when you think about it. Mac Pro's kind of jet black. Yeah. That was a weird thought I just had. Anyway. So now I'm trying to go with a black and white setup because that goes with the cables and it goes with the AirPods. That's why I got this white smart cover. If I had the money to waste, I would buy a sport band. But yeah, please don't misunderstand me. My money is not going in the garbage at all. Every dollar of it is being spent on this business. Which a lot of these are tax write-offs, which is very helpful. 15-inch MacBook Pro sucks, and the 13-inch is much better because, who needs those giant speakers and a small keyboard and a heavy weight? Well, Vuner, you know what people like? Quad cores. They like i7 cores, and they like large trackpads. That's what I enjoy. But personally, yes, I wish we had the same power in a smaller design. You know what I really love? Here's the ideal MacBook for me, because a long time ago I tested out the 12-inch MacBook because everyone hated on it and I wanted to see what it was capable of. That was the best designed Mac laptop, period, that I've ever used. I loved that thing. It was so light. It was lighter than air. I could literally lay on my back, hold it with one hand and balance it like that and use it, just scroll through like Facebook and YouTube and watch stuff. And it didn't even hurt my arm to hold. That's how light it was. I could use it like a tablet even though it opened up. The problem, of course, was, the processing speed was terrible, so I could barely edit podcasts and 4K videos on there. I could edit tech videos on there, but that was about it. But at the time, I didn't have Final Cut Pro, so I bet that's different now. However, if we could fit all of this processing power, the reason I got the 15-inch wasn't because I liked the display to be bigger or those extra speaker grills. I definitely think it's a lot heavier to carry around, but I would love it if we could store all of these features in that 12-inch design. That was the best design. I like it more than the 13-inch. My ideal MacBook would be 2 USB-C ports. I could get by with 2. I know a lot of people are like, what? But I would love the internal specs of the 15-inch, put in the 12-inch, move over the touch bar with the fingerprint sensor, and remove the headphone jack, replace the headphone jack with a USB-C. So now we got USB-C on either side. I can charge it from either side. I can import when I need to, and occasionally plug in the external hard drive. That would be great. I wish that MacBook existed. What's interesting is the MacBook Pros still have fans in them. The 12-inch MacBook didn't have a fan in it. So even when you were exporting stuff, it just got hot. It didn't have something that just kicked in. It just burned. It was great. Man, you guys get annoying in the chat fast. You know who you are. And I know who I am because I can do this. Block. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Anyway. Chrome versus Safari. By the way, my laptop battery gone down from 50 to 20% during this live stream. I'm using Chrome, says Julius. I use both. That's the nice thing about browsers is sometimes you just need to have two open. The annoying thing about Google and YouTube is if you're uploading a video in one tab, you have to keep that tab open while it's uploading. But you also want to watch a video while that's doing that. So you open up another tab. I don't use Tailosive Tech to watch all my subscribed channels. I have a personal account with nothing on it. So when I want to do that, if you change profiles, if you log out of your Tailosive Tech account and go to your personal account in a different tab, your upload will stop working. Because it's like, oh no, you don't have access to this account anymore. We can't continue the upload. So it's like, but it's in a different tab, but it doesn't remember that. Anyway, so the solution to that is whenever I'm uploading a video, but I also want to watch YouTube videos, I just open Google Chrome, start uploading in that browser, and then I go over to Safari, watch videos in there. Also, Safari supports picture-in-picture, which is the best thing on Mac OS. It's one of the biggest problems I would have with switching to Windows 10 or Chrome OS is I love being able to edit and have an overlay YouTube video playing in the corner. That's just the easiest. It's so convenient. Oh, man. I love that. And you can do that with FaceTime, I found out. I kept having a problem because I FaceTime my girlfriend a lot. And when I'm editing, I don't get to see her because I'm, Final Cut or Premiere is on top. So you can go into FaceTime and make it say always on top. And then she'll just stay in the corner and I can watch her as I edit. It's great. I love it. They're both fine. I like Safari because it lets you have these little micro tabs at the top. I don't know what you want to call them. I don't know who did I block, Mark Zuckerberg? Someone who's being annoying. I just saw one of his comments and was like, you're stupid. I don't know if I can show you, but will it show up on here? I'm not sure. Like these little tabs at the top here. Yeah, you can't really see it. I'm sorry. But yeah, you could just have like quick links with their own little watermark up there. It's just like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Netflix. That's really easy, and Chrome doesn't do that. But anyway. You're boring, I'll go to Coldplay and Chainsmokers. Enjoy! I think I'm boring too. It's late at night, you can have better things to do. Anyway. Back to the comments. I've been reading a lot of comments for Rrfried Friday. That's alright, we're live. We're talking. We're hanging out, that's what matters. Ooh, I found a nice one. I don't read enough nice ones on Rrfried Friday. You should be famous. Why? What you said is so true that I only see it in your video. I'm so touched, says Brandon Chavalsky. Well, thank you. I'm touched that you said that. It's appreciated. It's very much appreciated. I need to appreciate all of you more. Thank you for getting me as far as you have. It's been an amazing past year. Watching the sub count go from 32 to 12,500 in the span of about 15 months. That's pretty quick, so I hope it continues to grow exponentially. Let's see. What else we got? Oh, Krishna KC on my iOS is better than Android video, which a lot of people are still watching, even though it came out 3 months ago now. Just consider this. Android loves you for the person who you are, but iOS wants you to be the person whom they want to love. Krishna, KC. These are operating systems. They are not sentient. They do not love anything. They are a product. Any more than an apple loves you. Like literally the fruit. Just because I like apples and I don't like to eat, grapefruit, doesn't mean that the grapefruit doesn't love me. It doesn't love anything. It's a fruit. Android loves you for the person you are. But what are you trying to say by that? I think what you're trying to say is Android lets you be whoever you want to be. Because options. But here's the thing. I'm going to love my device if it knows what to do when I want it to do that. Which iOS is really good at. It's good at doing its job well and getting out of the way. That's key to me. Is that the product not just is good at what I want it to do, which is, text, take pictures, browse social media, multitask, play music, all that stuff we all do. It does that well, but at the same time, it doesn't get really boasty about it. I've never used this metaphor in a video, but I keep trying to find a way to put it. To me, iOS definitely lacks a lot of features Android has. We all know that in terms of customization for sure. It's kind of like the pretty cool kid at high school, right? He's neat, he knows stuff, he's pretty fun to hang out with, but he's not loud and obnoxious. As in, he may occasionally walk up to you and be like, "Hey, how are you doing?" You're like, "Oh, good, how about you?" And he's kind of interested in your daily life. He's just kind of there. He's just kind of a pleasant guy. How does he perform in school? He gets A's and B's, because C here and there. So he's not perfect, but he's a pleasant guy to be around. You don't mind being around that guy. Android reminds me of the guy who got straight A's all the time, but he wouldn't let you forget it. He was the top of his class. He was better than everyone, and he was going to let you know, and he was going to go up to you and tell you how cool he was every single day. He's like, "Guess what I did? And I did this, and I did the extra credit, and I got this better." It's like, "Yeah, you're cool." And he thought, "And I did this." And it's like, I'm not that perfect either. So, you want to chill a little bit? We can all turn down. I get it. You're great. And then he just keeps telling you, like, "I can do this too." And then, after school, I go volunteer and I pick up garbage. It's like, yeah, you're great. We love you. That's great. But at the end of the day, you kind of want to just chill with the casual guy. That's how iOS and Android feels, in my experience. I know it doesn't work for everyone. Taco Boy says, "I just want Apple to let emulators to the App Store so I can play my Mario and old school games." Yeah. I guess I'm not with you there because I didn't have much games in my past. But yeah, I know. Everyone wants emulators. Everyone wants to have that retro feeling. That Nintendo, old entertainment system sold pretty well. That they brought back the small one. I heard that did well. Do I lift? No. There's no point in me going to the gym because my job involves so much physical labor to begin with. I get paid to go to the gym. Look at it that way. I get to wake up at 7 and dig trenches around trees for 3 hours by myself. And then go, stack lumber for another 5. Spread fertilizer, spray Roundup, put up fences, take down fences. Putting in a wire fence with T-post driving, that's the worst thing. So, for those who don't know, because a lot of you are techies who don't go outside very much, T-post driving is when you got this giant, heavy metal thing that goes on top of, those little metal posts stick in the ground. And you have to bang it as hard as you can to get it into the ground. And it's heavy. It's like a 35-pound object that you have to just blunt hammer in as hard as you can. And you have to do that for hours. And you feel it. So I guess you could say I lift, but you want to die when you get home. It does suck, but I get paid for it, and I like having a job that makes me feel like I'm actually producing something. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the times when I'm done with a tech video, I'm just like, what did I do today? I just I'm hoping for a job where I go online and argue about what hole is in a phone. I just made a video about what charging port we charge our phones with. Who gives a crap? Why does it make a difference? Like at the end of the day, it's like I like doing work that I know is actually like producing something. I'm helping produce a farm that produces mandarins that feeds people. Mandarins help end hunger for children and other people. You know, like it was harvest season last winter. Lots of people like to buy mandarins. It was like that's a physical product that I helped produce. I'll get sick of it. I'm sure I will. And Dead Pixelator, I'm definitely going to overwork myself. We've hit that point. Like when I got home today, I definitely just wanted to fall asleep and die. And I came in here right before the live stream and was just about ready to go to bed, and I realized I hadn't done Rrfried Friday, so I felt like I had failed you. I had failed as a tech YouTuber because I need to make a video a day at least in order to maintain a steady view count and subscriber interaction and content that you guys can watch. But so I decided to do this, and I hope you like it. What's your plans in the future? Yeah, I think we're going to be wrapping it up pretty soon here. It's almost midnight for me, and I think I have work tomorrow, which is probably starting early. But I definitely always want to do tech videos. It's something I'm very passionate about, and I think I'm pretty good at debating it, and I like having a voice in it. But it's not the end goal. My end goal is not to do tech reviews full time. I definitely have a lot of movie scripts and screenplays that I have in my head that I want to tell. And before Tailosive Tech happened, I was doing short films on the main Tailosive channel that eventually grew into comedy sketches. But at my core, I still have a lot of serious movies with very controversial topics that I think you can use movies and film as a way to do social commentary on like modern day topics, to like get people talking and get almost political with metaphors on the screen, which the thing about doing that is you need money and you need a voice, which I didn't have at the time, so it was really kind of useless to try to make, you know, serious videos that no one was going to watch, because I was an amateur filmmaker. I still am, and an amateur actor, and I didn't have resources to make you know, professional looking stuff. So my long-term plan is to make Tailosive my full-time gig, but tech will always be just kind of one piece of what I do. I'm hoping that as tech grows and I can do this full-time, I can grow into doing other projects that will make this, you know, network of channels between Tailosive Tech, gaming, movie reviews, talks, where all of them support us and eventually can help me make, you know, feature films, web series that are not all funny, that are actually just, you know, thought-provoking, social commentary that, you know, drives conversation. I'd be really that's what I'd like to do. I have a lot of stories I can't tell you yet, but I really hope I do. That's the end goal, is to become like, you know, a full-on movie production company. And right now I'm just getting to that point where I can do this for a living and I can have a voice, because, you know, I want people to hear the message. Anyway. Oh, the sketches are fun. You watch them all. Thank you, Arho. I appreciate that. Arjo. I can appreciate that. Drew, talk to my... What did you say? Drew? Talk to my cousin. He's in Hollywood. Yeah, I've got cousins in Hollywood too, believe me. This is your Apple Sheep. I'll see you in the next video. See you again soon. Well, we're not done yet. How would it be if the new home button on the 8 would be on the chin where the original home button was? It would just be just a surface and not this annoying on screen. So you mean the Google Pixel? No, I don't like that idea. Thanks for being awesome. You're welcome. Thanks for being so supportive. There's a lot of haters, but there's a lot of lovers, and I don't appreciate enough of you. I love you all for making this happen, and I really appreciate all of your guys' support. So it sounded like the YouTube mobile app did a pretty good job live streaming. I know it's not the best quality in the world. What can I go up to? 480p. Wow. Thanks, YouTube. I don't hate Android. The hardware chin, that's what we have. The iPhone 7. Oh, I obviously don't want to read your question, Doc City. Okay, let me scroll back then. Let's see if I really don't want to. Does the touch bar help speed up your editing in Final Cut? Has Adobe implemented good touch bar features into their programs? No, they haven't. Adobe Premiere still does not support the touch bar. And yes, I use the touch bar all the time in Final Cut for mostly setting volume or trimming clips up when I need something to get more tighter. I just hit it. And crossfades, when you're selecting audio, you can just make it fade instantly or silence it, which is useful. And touch bar is just useful overall. I really do love that thing. So there you go. I didn't ignore your question. There's just a lot of people. I'm sorry, I can't get to all of them. Hey Vito, have you been seeing you for a while? I am looking forward to your future plans. We'll definitely watch and share your future skits and high quality vids. Of course, if they are entertaining, which they would be. Thank you. I hope they are. There's a lot of pressure to make that happen, but of course, baby steps. First things first is to make this a full-time job, so I can have that time to spend on more artsy kind of projects. That a lot of people are gonna hate. A lot of people are gonna hate, but a lot of people hate my work as it is, and I'm okay with that. Hey Shayna, thanks for raising your hand. Do you think Apple will do a March event? They haven't put out an invitation yet. I'm looking forward to the iPad Pro 2 in the 12.9-inch size. There will be. We're almost guaranteed to have one. The thing is, Apple likes to wait to the last minute to announce their keynotes. Like, I think the last one, we only got 2 weeks' notice, which means 2 weeks. We might get one this Tuesday. Maybe this Tuesday we'll get the official notice of it. If not, next Tuesday. Maybe they'll be pushing it off. Anyway, it's midnight for me, guys, so now it's no longer Rrfried Friday. But obviously, you can watch this live stream after the fact. It'll be up publicly if you missed stuff, or if it's not live for you. If you're watching this after the fact, good day. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If I'll try to edit more Rrfried Friday. I'll try to edit the next Rrfried Friday if I have the time to do so. It's just very hard to find the time for everything, guys. But appreciate for you sticking up with my very tired self. You can probably tell by my eyes and my attitude that I'm kind of dead right now because I have to get up early. Yes, Vito, you will always be around. Anyway, yeah, it's going to suck. I'm going to have to get up to end the live stream. But this is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, this is the awkward part. Now I got to get all the way up over here. I'm going to be working on the Google Pixel review right now. Thanks, guys. Take care.